Welcome, Professor Jean-Pierre Sauvage. Welcome to Perugia and welcome to Vitality Project. Can you briefly describe your field of research and your scientific interests?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question. My field of research is mostly the molecular sciences, and more precisely, making molecules. Making complex molecules with a very specific function, not just making molecules for the beauty of molecules, but the functions are of different types. And the main type is to make molecular machines and molecular motors. So molecules that can be set in motion, such as rotary motors or artificial muscles, or other types of molecular machines.
What has been the idea at the origin of your studies, the idea that in the end brought you to the Nobel Prize?
Yeah. I must say that, very often in science you have accidents. And I was working in a field which is also very important, which is trying to split the water molecule to H2 and 1/2 O2 using light energy. And it's a kind of a dream reaction, because you would obtain H2, which is a fuel, the perfect fuel, from water, which is free, of course, and solar light. And many groups have been working in this field on this big project, but we encountered difficulties. I mean, something worked, but not as well as we had expected. And at some stage, we realized that the molecules we were working on were perfectly well adapted to making catenanes. And catenanes are simply molecular systems consisting of 2 or more interlocking rings. And so we embarked in this new field of catenanes, and they were basically unknown before that. So we were lucky in a way, and it worked. Within 1 year we had our first paper. And catenanes are ideally adapted to molecular machines, because you can rotate a ring within another ring. You can thread a ring by an axis and then move the ring along the axis. And so that was really the start of this new field of molecular machines.
Maybe Vitality Project is aimed at creating innovative materials. And what do you think are the most interesting materials that we can expect in these years to come?
I'm a molecular chemist. So of course I will tell you that molecules can lead to very exciting molecular materials. So in my field, there are polymers which behave as molecular machines. But generally speaking, molecular materials are varied, and there are very, very many various types. And so I think we cannot really discuss, all these materials, molecular materials. Polymers are molecular materials. Polymers, simply organic polymers. They are everywhere in our everyday life. So these are very important, of course, as materials.
Is there anything in your scientific career that still you haven't done or haven't found? Something that you still want to do?
Yeah, sure, yes. As I said, at the beginning of my independent career, I was very much interested in splitting water to H2 and O2, 1/2 O2. And this remains to be done. There is no success in this field. And that was a big regret, for me, that we couldn't achieve any system leading to dihydrogen using solar light. Some people try still, but generally speaking, it was a failure. And other systems, some molecular machines you can dream of, and the complexity, for making the molecules and later on for studying the molecules was such that we gave up.
In Vitality project, we used to host scientists from everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Can you give us your reflections about the traveling professor, I mean the traveling scientist?
I believe this is one of the keys to the success. You know, being flexible, being mobile is extremely important. Also because you meet new people, and meeting new people will allow you to give them new ideas, will also help you receive some information, new information. And so I believe that mobility is absolutely essential.
And one last thing is, what do you think should not miss in a modern group of research?
Yeah, I think, you know, one of the most important requirements for a group of research is freedom. You know, programmed research, this is something I do not believe in. You know, planning some project, you know, years before you reach the target, this is something I do not like. And so when, you know, politicians tell you that you'd better work in this field rather than in another field, I think you have to be very reluctant. Freedom is absolutely essential.
Thank you very much, Professor, and have a good lecture.
Thank you.
Good stay in Perugia these days.
Thank you.